Most financial advice is completely useless, not because it's wrong, but because it assumes you already think like a wealthy person. You don't. None of us do naturally. And that's not an insult. It's neuroscience. Today we're going to talk about the real reason most people never build wealth, and it has nothing to do with your income. Here's the standard explanation for why people stay broke. They spend too much, or they don't earn enough. And while that's technically true on a spreadsheet, it completely misses the deeper issue. Two people can have identical incomes, identical expenses, and one will build generational wealth while the other struggles at 65. The difference isn't the numbers. It's the operating system running in their head. Today, we're going to look at 5 psychological forces that are actively working against your ability to build wealth, and what to do about each one. 1. The bandwidth tax. Princeton and Harvard researchers ran a study on low-income individuals in rural New Jersey. What they found was stunning. When people are under financial stress, their cognitive bandwidth, their ability to plan, reason, and make good decisions, drops by the equivalent of 13 IQ points. That's the same cognitive impairment as going a full night without sleep. This is called the bandwidth tax. Financial scarcity doesn't just drain your bank account, it drains your mental capacity. The cruel irony is that the people who most need to make smart financial decisions, those under the most financial pressure, are literally being made worse at making those decisions by the stress of their situation. It's a trap built into how human brains work. 2. The pain of paying. Here's something every major retailer knows but almost no one thinks about. Spending money hurts, literally. Brain scan research shows that paying for things activates the insula, the same region of the brain associated with physical pain. Every time your balance goes down, your brain registers a minor version of pain. But here's where it gets worse. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, whose work won the Nobel Prize, discovered that this pain is asymmetric. Losing $100 feels roughly twice as bad as gaining $100 feels good. They called this loss aversion. What this means practically, your brain is structurally biased against saving and investing. Every dollar you move to savings feels like a small loss. Every purchase feels like a gain. You're fighting your own neurology every time you try to save. 3. Present bias. If I offered you $100 today or $110 next week, most people take the $100 now. But if I offered $100 in 12 months or $110 in 12 months and 1 week, suddenly, people prefer to wait. The math is identical. The waiting time is the same. But our brains treat now as categorically different from the future. This is called present bias, and it explains almost every financial self-destruction decision humans make. It's why we know we should invest for retirement, but buy things we don't need instead. The future version of you, the 65-year-old with no savings, might as well be a stranger in your brain's accounting system, and your brain treats that person accordingly. 4. The hedonic treadmill. Research on lottery winners consistently reveals something deeply counterintuitive. 1 year after winning, lottery winners report the same level of happiness as people who suffered serious accidents. Our brains have a happiness set point. We adapt to improved circumstances quickly, our expectations rise, and we return to baseline. This is the hedonic treadmill, and it explains why every raise, every new car, every apartment upgrade eventually stops feeling like progress. You adjust. You want more. Your lifestyle expands to consume your income. Economists call this lifestyle inflation, and you end up feeling no wealthier than before, even though you're earning more. 5. The social comparison trap. Humans are hardwired for social comparison. Research by Robert Frank at Cornell shows that financial satisfaction correlates more strongly with relative income, how you compare to your neighbors, than with absolute income. A person earning $75,000 in a neighborhood of $200,000 earners often feels poorer than someone earning $50,000 among peers making $40,000. And in an era of Instagram and TikTok, we are comparing ourselves 24 hours a day to the wealthiest, most curated version of everyone's lives. This drives spending behavior that has nothing to do with what we actually need or want, and everything to do with social signaling. The path out of these psychological traps is not willpower, and it's not better budgeting apps. It's understanding the traps well enough to design systems that work with your psychology instead of against it. Automate your savings so the pain of paying never registers. Use pre-commitment strategies to fight present bias. Set up automatic transfers on payday before you see the money. Limit social media to reduce the comparison effect. The game is rigged by your own brain. But now that you know the rules, you can start playing smarter. If you want to go deeper, I've linked The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel in the description. It's the single best book on this topic, and it changed how I think about everything. See you next week.